A young woman was on her first date with a man, observing nature together. Just as they were getting intimate, she was suddenly distracted by a swarm of butterflies. When the butterflies flew away, they discovered it was actually a corpse, which scared the boyfriend out of his wits. The medical examiner detected a strange sulfur smell and found a goat nearby. Even more bizarrely, all the blood had been drained from the victim's body, and there were bite marks covering one of the ribs, as if something had carried off the victim's heart. Vincent discovered the victim had undergone longitudinal cross-joint surgery, suggesting they might be able to trace the victim's identity through the serial number on the steel pins. He also found needle-like bristles from some kind of animal. The images revealed that the rib injuries were caused by sharp teeth. He theorized that the creature responsible for killing the victim was a chupacabra, a beast not yet scientifically proven to exist. Based on the victim's brand new clothing, Angela deduced that he was likely a tourist who had come to the woods for a trip. Following this lead, agents found that a tourist named Coleman had gone missing from a nearby hotel. Coleman was the famous host of the TV show Mythbusters, which exposed the truth behind numerous myths and legends. According to the hotel owner, local legends about the chupacabra had long circulated in the area. To cater to tourists drawn by these tales, he and a woman named Melissa had created an adventure and hunting club. The medical examiner determined from the severely keratinized outer layer that it belonged to a reptile. As for the needle-like bristles, they came from a large mammal. Hearing about these two things that shouldn't exist on the same creature, the agent stared at the chupacabra painting on the wall, unable to explain it. Meanwhile, the agent learned from the producer that Coleman typically researched his shows alone, so his colleagues didn't know much about him. After watching the victim's previous episodes, the agent discovered that these expose videos were all recorded with hidden cameras. Considering that Coleman always worked alone, the female agent suspected there might also be a camera at the crime scene. Her hunch proved correct. Hodgins returned to the scene and found a camera hidden in a tree. The footage showed Coleman had entered the forest that day with a goat, hoping to film the chupacabra but saw nothing. However, Angela noticed that in the second before Coleman turned off the camera, the goat's ear suddenly twitched, indicating that something the victim hadn't noticed had appeared nearby. Angela extracted two different sounds from the recording. Based on the regular fluctuations in the graphic filter, one appeared to be artificially synthesized. The other sounded like some kind of machinery. Additionally, Hodgins identified the skin tissue on the body as scales from a spiny-tailed iguana, while the bristle-like brown hairs came from a wild boar. All these findings indicated that the entire chupacabra incident was a hoax. Vincent discovered abrasions on the victim's ankles and a gap in the cervical vertebrae, proving the blood wasn't drained by any creature. The truth was that someone had used a method common among hunters, tying Coleman's ankles, hanging him upside down, and draining his blood. Furthermore, Hodgins detected bone adhesive residue in the bite marks. This localized adhesive is primarily used for creating taxidermy specimens. The bite marks on the victim's sternum were likely made by a black bear specimen. If the female agent remembered correctly, there was exactly such a thing in the hotel they'd visited earlier. Returning to the hotel, they found it much more crowded than before. Clearly, Coleman's death had brought a steady stream of tourists to the area. The female agent confirmed that the black bear head on the wall was the murder weapon. The agent also noticed ligature marks on the hotel owner's hands and found a rope with the victim's bloodstains in his storage locker.